How are you?
I'm fine. Good morning.
It's good morning, well, good afternoon or good evening to you. It's nice to actually talk to you face to face.
Yeah, we are so lucky today to have you. So far, we have received a wonderful video from you during the period of pandemic.
Absolutely.
Now we are able to talk to you face to face.
Yes, and it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. How are you folks doing right now? I know it's been a crazy year, but
Yeah,
hopefully we're persevering and working hard.
yeah, we are doing well as far as the pandemic is concerned. Uh, so ever since we got back to school in the month of November, initially we thought that the pandemic will be with us, but unfortunately, we are able to do many things since from November. We are doing fortunately no casualties, no more COVID cases. We are completely safe from the COVID 19.
Okay, okay. I'm having a little bit of trouble. If everyone could do me a big favor, if you can mute yourself real quick, please. I'm Hispanic, so in Puerto Rico we say por favor. That means please.
Yeah, just a minute, just a minute.
It's so nice to see everyone. I know sometimes we get just blank space, blank faces, and if you feel comfortable, please put your camera on because I'd love to see your faces. If you don't feel comfortable, I don't make it. I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. I want you to feel safe. I want you to be brave. I want you to participate when you want to. But if you feel comfortable, I know I'm a stranger from another country, but I love to see your faces. This is part of what I do. I haven't really taught too many classes lately because I work for the Department of Education now. So I take 6 months being New Jersey State Teacher of the Year, and I work for the Department of Education to try to change some policies in New Jersey um, that will benefit our kids in our schools. So it's exciting to actually come back and teach a small lesson for everybody.
Yeah, definitely.
When should I start?
Yeah, you can start right now. Taslima, Neerja, Venkat Sivanagakshmi, Varshita, Jagadesh, turn your videos on so that our guest speaker can see you all. It is not right thing to hide your faces. So our guest is right away here and he is going to teach us a wonderful lesson. Consists. Jagadesh, Taslima, you can still turn your videos on. Yeah, Angel, Angel. Before
Yes,
I let you teach the topic, if you don't mind, would you like to introduce yourself? Would you like to tell something about yourself?
absolutely. I had that right in plan. So my name is Mr. Santiago. I'm from Southern New Jersey, and if you don't mind, I want to share a little bit about my classroom, about my school with you folks. So if I'm going to share my screen, all right. So you have to enable screen hosting.
Yes, please. You can do it now.
All right.
You can do it now.
Gotcha. All right. All right. So let me take you. No, this is it. Am I here? Do you see my screen? Let me stop
Yes,
sharing
we
it.
can.
That's the wrong. I want to go here. All right, there we go. So here is where I teach. So just to let you know, if we got the map of the world here,
Yeah.
this is how far I am from you folks. So India, and I don't know exactly what city in India you guys are in,
Actually, we are
but
living.
if you look at India,
Yeah, we are living in a small.
okay.
We are living in a small village in the southern part of India.
So similarly, I live in a small town in a part of New Jersey. I'm sorry. Let me go back to our map. So I live in a smaller town in New Jersey. I actually live in this area where there's not many people that live there. So I drive from my house down here to my school every day. It's called Lauren Fleming Elementary School. We teach from kindergarten all the way to fifth grade. So from kids that are about 5 years old all the way to 10, 11, sometimes 12. I teach English language arts, but I've also taught science and mathematics. I've taught a different array of things. And New Jersey teachers who teach elementary school have to know how to teach every subject. But this year and the last couple of years, we've been breaking apart. And so teachers are now specifically teaching different subjects. So I teach now English language arts. Here's just a little description of some of the people. This is our principal, Mr. Aaron Rose. This handsome man right here is Mr. Santiago, winning Teacher of the Year. And these are just our kids and some of our staff. I got a little video for you. We'll play about like a minute of it, of just some of the stuff that we like to do. This video was kind of like, we call it a hype video, because we like to give our students positive behavior feedback. So when they're doing something that's right, not if they're doing well in school, we understand, we want you to do well, but we want you to be good people too, right? So some of the things we stress in our school is just being a good person. So we just made a video celebrating us being good citizens and really just being good people. And that's right here. I'll play a little bit of it. So that's just some of the fun that we do at our school. And it's just, something silly. We ask all of our students to do it just to bring about awareness of positive behavior inside of our school. We love to do that. And I encourage it for you folks. We're looking, being smart is one thing, but being a good person at the end of the day is where it's at, right? So today, I was asked to teach you a lesson on probably what I think is one of the hardest languages to kind of teach, because it's so nuanced and so specific. And I'm going to break it down. Hopefully you guys have, you're going to have to go to your web browser if you can on your phone. If you have a web browser on your phone to actually, you can see it on my screen, but you'll be able to go to your web browser to actually participate. So in the chat room, in the chat area, I'm going to put down a link. If you could get to that link, that would be great. There's a link. If you can just tap on that link, it'll take you straight to the website. Okay. If you can tap on that link in your chat, it'll take you straight to the website. And from what I understand, because I did it on my phone yesterday, you'll still be able to hear me, and that's all you need. All right. You don't have to see me. You just need to hear me. So tap on that link and it'll take you straight to this website, because this is interactive. I want you to actually participate. And the thing is, for those of you who are very shy and don't like to raise your hand or talk, no one's going to see your answers besides me. So when you put your answer out there, if you're wrong, it's okay to be wrong. I'd rather you be wrong, right? So I can fix it. We can fix it together. So let's tap on that link and it'll take you straight to my PowerPoint. I promise you, you'll be able to see it. And you'll be able to participate too.
So students are requested to tap the link which is on the display right now. So all the students are requested to tap the link. Yes.
Right here. Or you can also, in the chat room, if you go to the chat option, you can just tap on that link.
So all students are requested. Yes, chat area, you have a link. Just press the link and you can automatically see the web browser. So there all the students are requested to press the web browser, and just a link is given there. In the chat box, there is a link you can see. Just click the link. You can see the web browser.
Also, you can do it another way too. You can go to your web browser and put join.nearpod.com, and then you can put this code in there.
Yeah.
But if you hit the link, it'll take you straight there. You don't have to worry about it. Put your name there. Once you get to it, you just put your name, and then you'll be ready to go. I could see who's on here or not. Let's see.
Name is given. Students are requested to write your name and other optional name. If you want, you can write it.
I have one so far. It's I think her name is Varshitha.
Varshita. So
Varshita.
Neeraja, Vedasri, Taslima, Kusuma Kumari, you are requested to click the web browser. So if you click the web browser, you can see, if you click the link, you can see the web browser. In web browser, you can write your name, and if you want to add another name, you can write it. So that's how you can take part in this session.
There you
Yes,
go.
Varshita,
And whatever.
join.
There we go. We see people jumping in.
Neeraja, you have to do it quickly. Neeraja, Kusuma Kumari, Venkat Lakshmi, you have to click the link, and if you click the link, you can see the browser. You write your name. Yes.
We have 4.
Yeah. Jagadish.
4.
Jagadish, you can also click the link. Click the link.
I'll share the link again on the. There you go. It's double time now.
So all students are requested to click the link. Link is given right in the chat box. You can just click it so that you can automatically connect it to the web browser. And web browser, you can write your name, you register your name.
And you can stay on the web browser. Just listen to my voice. That's all you need to do.
Yeah. So far, only 4 students have entered. Yes, Kusma Kumar, you are still have not clicked the link. You have to click the link one. Jagadish, you also, Sai, Jagadish, you have to click the link. Click the link.
It's in the chat section. If you go to your chat section, you should see a link.
Girija, you also need to click the link. Yes. Yeah. Do you have any doubts? Jagadish? Just click the link in the chat box.
We got another one.
Girija, I think you have to click the link in the chat box. Just try to check the chat box and click the link. I think you are the only girl yet to join. You have to
I think we need 3 more people, right? 3 more.
Lohita Girija, you have to click the link. Yeah.
I got time. Don't worry. I have time. I'd rather them be on it so they can participate.
In fact,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
They are quite unfamiliar with this technology, so they are finding a bit difficult.
No, we could start without them. They can see. There's just a couple quizzes embedded that they won't be able to see though.
Yeah.
I have an idea though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna click the link. I don't know if it's gonna let me. Yeah, it won't let me. All right. So you want to start without it?
Yeah. We can start.
Okay. So those of you who are participating, that's great. We're just gonna go over really. And let me move this out the way. And those of you, I'll put the link in there one more time. All right. So we're going to be really dealing with think
Girija,
there's someone with their
Girija.
mute. There we go. All right, so we're going to talk about past, future tenses of the verb in the English language. Whenever you're telling a story or writing something or reading a story, the way the verb is written will tell us when it happened. And it's really, like I said, English can sometimes be a goofy language because there are specific rules to things, and we're just going to really talk about the basics of the rules, right? And for those of you who are on, you don't have to worry about this. So for those of us who are on, and those of us who are listening to this, the essential question is a question that gives us an answer to why we learn a specific subject. And the reason why we're learning this today is because it's going to help us in our writing. So when you're writing in English, past and future tenses will help you be specific on when you're saying something is happening. All right, today's lesson goals, we call them objectives. In this lesson, you're going to change a verb from present to the future tense. You will also change verbs from present to past tense. And then at the end of it, for those of you who are on, you'll proofread a paragraph to make sure that the verb tenses are correct. So, those of you who are on, let's see what you know. There's a warm-up that I want to give to you. All right, there's a warm-up. Let's see if you can do this warm-up. It's on your computer. So those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go ahead, and I'm going to hide your names. There we go, so we don't know who scores what. Go ahead and take that small quiz so I know where you're starting off at. It's on your phone. Make sure you get to it. It's on the Nearpod. We'll give you about 2 or 3 minutes to do that. Make sure that we're doing it right. And those of you who are still with us, you can just hold on a bit, because this is kind of just a get to know where you guys are when it comes to this type of skill. All right, we have a couple of us who have done some. All right, good. Mr. Krishna, I don't know if you actually took, if you went on and you're taking it with them. And this doesn't need to be completed. It just kind of just tells me where we are when it comes to this. So some of you, look, when we look at 33%, that's not too bad. 17% incorrect, that's not too bad. That's not too bad right there. All right, so I'm going to just move on, and we're really going to, those of you who didn't do too much, don't worry about it. Maybe you don't know too much about it, but we're going to move on. So let's dive in. And this is just a small mini lesson. Obviously, if I was there with you, we would flesh this out and make it bigger. But in today's lesson, you're going to learn about how to change verbs from present to the future and to past tense. And then you'll get to revise some sentences. For those of you who are on there and you did some of the material or some of the work, we'll get to revise some sentences. So Future tense. What does it mean for future tense? When we use future tense, we're talking about something that's going to happen in the future. It doesn't mean that it's happening right now and it did not happen in the past. It still has yet to happen. So we're looking for things that will happen in the future. And I keep on saying that word will happen in the future. When I say will happen, that's future tense. So let's look at some of these examples. Tomorrow, I will clean my room. I will clean my room. Let's look at the next example. My older sister will go to college in the fall. And the third one, ready? I will buy new shoes when my feet get too big for these. What do you think is the common word for all three of these sentences? I want to hear from someone who hasn't participated yet. Can anyone tell me what's the common word? What's the word that repeats over and over again?
Will.
Will. So when you look at future tense, look out for the tenses of will. Right? Look out for the tenses of will. It usually will always have that helping. We call those helping words or helping verbs. It will always have a helping verb attached to it. Awesome. Good. Now, real quick, let's do a review. For those of you who have that you're signed up, let's see if you can do these three questions. Real quick, let's see if you can do these three questions. A real quick quiz about future tense. There we go. I want to see the student's name real quick. Is it Niraja? Niraja? Am I saying her name correctly? If I'm not, I apologize. You are an all-star, girl. Good job. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
You are very welcome. I want to see some more. Hey, like I said, I don't need you to get it right. I just need you to participate, right? You don't need to get it right. It's okay to get it wrong. You are very welcome. There we go. And we have, who else is in there? Is it Kusuma? Kusuma?
Kusuma is correct.
Kusuma. Kusuma, you're doing a great job too.
Angel, would you like to send
Yes.
would you like to send the link again in the chat box, because one girl is waiting to click the link. So
Gotcha.
yeah, could you please?
Yep. Let me find where the chat box is. Oh, it's behind the screen.
One girl is there called U.S.A. Actually, she is waiting to join.
She's there. All right. There's the link.
Yeah, Navya has. Yeah.
There we go. Awesome. All right. So, say it again.
I have already taught this topic actually. So, Angel, if you teach the topic tenses for the non-native speakers, what would you like to teach first? Would you like to introduce the irregular verbs, or would you like to introduce parts of speech, or would you like to introduce something else?
Say it again.
So, if you want to teach the tenses topic, the grammar tenses topic for the non-native speakers, so what would you like to start first? Would you like to start with irregular verbs? Would you like to start with the parts of speech, or would you like to start with any other topic?
Like perfect tense, you said?
No, the whole topic tenses. The whole topic tenses. In order to teach the topic tenses, so as a basic ground, so in order to make them good at the tenses, what topic do you like to teach? What topic would you like to introduce for the students? For me, I think I would like to introduce the irregular verbs for them before I start the tenses topic. So, do you have anything in mind?
When you're teaching tenses.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm getting like you're cutting in and out. I'm so sorry. When we're teaching tenses in school, like when I go about it, obviously we have a grammar program that we usually use that is connected to our wit and wisdom. And my area of expertise, it builds on knowledge from before. So a lot of these tenses are already done in earlier grades, which I'm assuming that you probably have done. You've touched these tenses before, have you?
Yeah. Yes, I
Absolutely.
have done it.
And
I have done it.
and since I didn't know exactly, where they were when it comes to exactly what tenses you wanted to cover, kind of went basic. And I don't ever assume because even kids in America have a difficult time with just doing basic tenses like future and past tense, and they really forget that those helping verbs are attached to future tenses, right? So those helping verbs are extremely important when you're talking about future tense. And then a lot of people, and here's how I really kind of teach it. When we're talking about narrative writing, when you are writing a story, right? When you're writing a story, almost all of your verb tenses will always be in past tense, always. And we're gonna get to past tense in a few. So like a lot of my students write sometimes they change tenses in their writing, right? In their stories. They'll go from past tense to present tense or past tense to future tense. And you got to be careful because when you're writing a story, you're recollecting, you're taking your memory. Most of your tenses are going to be in past tense, and and a lot of my students mix that up. So it's important to teach these tenses because they definitely need to know when to use a tense and when's the appropriate point to use a tense. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do agree with you.
Which brings me to past tense. And like I said, for stories, for things that happen in the past, especially your historical fiction, these past tenses are usually most of your verbs will just have a D or an ED. Now, like I said, English is goofy, and you probably already know that. There's some of these verbs don't have an ED at the end of it. They call them irregular verbs. And that's a whole nother lesson, right? Irregular verbs that just don't follow this rule. For instance, the present tense of run, when you do it past tense, it'd be ran, right? They're goofy. There's some of them are strange and they're weird and they're different. So here are some examples. I watched my brother's soccer game yesterday. I played Pokemon Go with my friends last weekend. I worked on my homework for a few hours after school yesterday. ED on each one of these. It works for, I would say, 80% of our words in the English language. That works. Not all of them. And unfortunately, it takes practice and memorization to get some of these down. There is no rule. They're just individual rules, But for the most part, in the English language, these ed endings or d endings, you can attach them to most verbs.
Yeah. Angela, I would like to tell you that one.
Can anyone?
Yeah, let me tell you one thing. And in this Zoom session, we have 10 minutes time is left. In this free Zoom slot, the session is going to end within 10 minutes time. So we have to relog in again to continue the session.
Okay. All right. Can someone here, since not everyone is on the Nearpod, can you give me some words that we can use for past tense? I'm going to throw some words out there, and you give me the past tense answer to it. Right? You give me the past tense form of the verb. So let's talk about the word jump. How can you change that to past tense? Jump.
If I change the jump into fast.
Past tense.
Jumped.
Say that one more time.
Jumped.
Yes. All right. Let me get another one. And I might even throw one that's an irregular in there. Let's see how good you guys are. Even though I didn't teach it. Let's see. Because I have a feeling you know how to change irregular ones too. Let's see.
You can. Yeah.
Let's do an irregular one. Ready? How about the word right? How can I make it into a past tense? Right.
Three. Let us read. Past form
Sir,
of right.
wrote. Wrote.
Yes.
Wrote.
Wrote.
Good. All right. All right. How about here's a hard one. Let's go harder. Ready? Read.
Yeah. Varshita. Varshita, past form of read. Tell me
Red.
again. One more time. Read.
Red.
All right. Let's stretch it. How
Read,
is
read.
red? How's red spelled?
Varshita, spell the letters red.
READ.
Which is funny because isn't read spelled READ too?
It's really
And
funny.
isn't there a color called red which is spelled RED?
Yeah.
You see how crazy the English language can possibly get, right? You think
Yes,
about
sir.
how. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's really crazy. And the READ red, both are similar in terms of pronunciation.
Absolutely, and and I'm sure you probably know they're called homophones because they have one sound. Homophone. Homo means one sound. Phone like microphone or headphones. So one sound. Red and red. Completely different spellings, completely different meanings, but they have the same pronunciation. And that can be a tricky for like my Hispanic speakers. And I do have people, my ELL students from Bangladesh, who are Bengali and who are learning the language for the first time. It's difficult for them to understand that there are two words that sound the same, that don't mean the same thing, and that are spelled differently. And that happens with like a good percentage of the English language, and we have to be careful with those. Those of you who are on quick quiz on past tense, they're going to be the easy ones, the EDs. All right, they're going to be the EDs, the easy ones. While they're taking this, those of you who are not on there, does anyone know any other irregular verbs and how we can change them? So I want you to teach me. Is there any regular verbs that we can change?
I can
How about go?
I can ask some of the.
How about the word go?
Yeah. Go. Yeah. Taslima. Taslima, can you say the fast form of go? Taslima, can you say the fast form of go?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please. Fast form of go.
Blow.
Go. Jiva, go.
Gone.
No, I'm sorry. Kusma, can you try? Kusma, can you try the fast form of go?
That's a tricky one.
No, actually, San Diego, yeah.
She said it. She said it. Went.
Went.
There you go.
Went.
It doesn't look anything like the word go. Nothing whatsoever. Does not. And I have a whole thing about irregular verbs too. I mean, if you ever want to do that again, but we have it doesn't look anything like go at all. And that can be really tricky for people who don't know the English language. And tell you the truth, English is my first language, but when I started learning it early, I struggled with this. I used to say the word goad. I goad to, and people would be like, there's no such word as goad, right? Did you say goat? Animal? No, goad. And there's no such word as goad. And those things you just have to practice, right? You have to practice. You have to speak the language. You have to write the language. And those are difficult. And sorry.
That's why I actually prefer the students to learn the irregular verbs. So first
You want
thing-
irregular?
Yeah.
We got irregular. We could jump.
No. Actually, first thing I would like to teach for my students before I start any grammar topic is introducing them irregular verbs. I have a list of irregular verbs, and almost
Yeah.
110 irregular verbs are there. So I make my students learn these irregular verbs thoroughly before I make them teach any grammar topic, whether it is a voice or tenses or speech, or reported and direct and indirect speech. So whatever English topic which I would like to teach. So before preliminary thing that I would like to do is making them learning the irregular verbs, but it takes me almost 1 month, 1 or 2 months time to make my students master this list. But even though it takes 1 or 2 months time, but I feel comfortable if they learn these irregular verbs, and when I teach the tenses topic or voice topic or maybe direct indirect speech, I think it makes my job very easy. They learn it so quickly. They can
Absolutely.
change it from present to past so quickly. So that's why I prefer the irregular verbs every time.
Yeah. So I kind of liken it. If you probably teach science, right? When you first get your science kids in the classroom when they're older, irregular verbs to me are like the periodic table of charts, right? Of elements. If you can teach those whole like a whole group of irregular verbs and get it into their memory, everything else is easy, right? Because they're the goofy things, right? Those are the those are the things that are the strangest things to do. Irregular verbs. After that, everything is pretty much easy, right? When you talk about present tense and those things are they come in time, but I mean when you talk about perfect tense, those things come in time, but irregular verbs the hardest because there is no strategy. There is no you just have to learn them, right?
Yeah, I have seen.
All right, so
Yeah, please go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Here is what we're going to do, right? Uh, what is the word that is, and those of you who are on here, you can draw it, right? What is the word uh, that is wrong here? Someone tell me what's the word that's wrong here. What is the verb that we need to change? I'm gonna
Anybody
circle it.
else? Yerja, Kusmukumari, or anybody, Navesai,
Next
which
summer,
word?
I will go to summer camp.
Ah, next time I will go to summer camp. I like it. Let's put that right here. We're missing a will, right? We're missing a will here. Will, and let's put a little carrot. Draw a little carrot right here. Next time I will go to summer camp, right? Next summer I will go to summer camp. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Pretty easy, pretty simple. It looks like your teacher has done a fabulous job with you when we're talking about getting you prepared. The strategy to do the irregular verbs first. I know that takes a lot of time. I know that it's difficult, but that is everything else is easy peasy. Everything else is easy after that. This is easy stuff.
San Diego, I have to tell you one more thing that I have seen a few videos where a few English teachers try teaching the irregular verbs quite rhythmatic way, just like a rhythmatic way, like beat, 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 just like showing some gestures and playing some music. And so I have seen a few musical instruments, and so in order to
Yeah.
so do you adopt this kind of system of introducing the irregular verbs using the musical instruments?